Hi, just wanted to tell everybody what the next update is on my truck. I had to replace the PCM or the ECM, which is a computer, on my 1999 Dodge Ram 1500. The truck was stalling out a few miles after leaving home, and I went ahead and changed a few sensors. I pretty much changed almost everything except the camshaft sensor. And the truck was just still stalling out. Basically, when it was very hot outside, and I guess maybe when the truck was overheating to the point where it was just very hot on the engine. So what appears to be happening is the Dodge Ram and Chrysler have a computer that is filled with this gel. The gel seems to lose elasticity after a while. And basically what happened is this. When the truck was hot, my truck would, I guess, stall. Now, the computer was overheating, or the components were overheating, and the gel was sticking to the chips, and the chip was expanding off the motherboard. Once it expanded off the motherboard, then the truck decided to die. What would happen, though, is after a short amount of time, not a short amount of time, maybe anywhere 15, 20, 45 minutes, the chip would reset, and then I could start the truck and drive again. So it didn't make any sense that if a truck dies, something catastrophic had to happen, right? Something major had to make sure that the darn thing broke down and wouldn't work again. What was strange was it would start up after a while. So it was always something to do with the temperature. I thought it was my sensors that were reading something wrong about the thermostat or whatever. And you know what? It just ended up being the ECM or PCM. And that was when I went ahead and replaced that, and that was replaced. So the video just shows kind of like where it is with the screws. There's 3 big plugs, and it's on the firewall on the passenger side underneath the hood. Once it was replaced, it started up very well and ran. I didn't have stalling out problems anymore after that. At this point, though, now it's been about 3 months. Now what's happening is when I start the truck in the morning, instead of just turning the key and the engine turning over and the truck staying on, I need to make sure I press down on the gas pedal. So I'm not sure what that issue is, but at least I'm not dying when I'm driving down the road. If you live in a cooler climate area, then it may not affect you. If you live in the lower part of the United States or in a place that's hot, your engine is overheating, and then the temperature outside combined, all that stuff will make your truck stall. As far as a solution, or where do you get this from? You know, you go eBay, but I did source and find something at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And this is one thing I know: you need your VIN number. You can take a picture of it on the inside of your door jamb on the driver's side, and that will need to be used to program your computer to your vehicle. So it's important that you have this. And then the truck needs to run for a little bit. You need to drive it so the computer can gather enough information to figure out how to actually work again on your vehicle. So I went ahead and used a local friend in South Florida because I'd rather support my friend. And so he's the one that fixed it. He remanufactured or did something, and now there's no more gel in this computer that we have, so the problem won't happen again. But that's my situation, that's the story. I hope it helps somebody else out there with the problem that's been going on with your truck. If it's stalling and you really don't know what's going on your odometer, it's going to say no bus, N-O-B-U-S. It's going to blink a few times, and then it's going to go back to the mileage that you have. That's an indication, but like I said, when it's hot outside, it'll also be the problem as well. And it affects everything. It affects the gas gauge. It affects all kinds of stuff when your computer doesn't work. Without the computer, it really doesn't work. So the video just shows the person that I know swapping out EMC or PCM on the truck, and you just kind of like manhandle it. There's 3 big plugs, a couple of screws, bang, it gets installed inside of a few minutes. All right, so I hope that helps you out. I hope that is something that will make your life a little bit easier. Locating a PCM or a computer is something you have to figure out yourself, though. All right, any comments, questions, please leave something below. I know people learn a lot from people who really have to go through things like this. Take care. Looks like it's a T15. I got this from Harbor Freight. Can't remember how much I paid for it, but it's helped me out with a few of the projects where I had to take sensors off my throttle body.
Yeah, these things get hot and they shut off.